Hello, and very warm welcome to our podcast, The Inner Compass, where we challenge the societal normalization of drugs and we talk about the most uncomfortable topics. So, today we have a very special guest who has first hand experience with the drug addicts and survivors, and someone who has seen the journey of recovery very closely and helped people recover from the dark spaces. So, uh, join your hands together from wherever you are, from your seats, your comfort of your home. Nkiruka Ibekwe.
Thank you very much.
So today, as I said, that she's a professional pharmacist. So she'll be walking us through her journey with the drug survivors and their journey with the medication and everything. So how about we start with your recent experience or opening remarks?
Okay, I must say that drugs are poisons as well as medications for treatment, and the use or misuse can make or mar an individual. From experience so far, I can say that when people get comfortable or feel that a medication has solved their problems, they tend to want to keep using that drug. And this is what we are trying to push against. Medications should be used as prescribed.
How do you think your work as a pharmacist intersects with the issues related to the drug misuse or addiction? In other words, I want to ask the thin line between the prescribed and the unprescribed medication.
Okay, thank you. Pharmacists are on the front line as healthcare professionals, and we kind of serve like a bridge between the client and the medication, just like the last point of contact. So we have first-hand information about the pattern of drug prescription, drug use or misuse. Also, we can be able to identify potential challenges, dependency on medication and all that. And also we relate with the prescribers too to for safe and effective prescription for the clients. So yes, we do have we do have first-hand information when it comes with medications that have been prescribed to clients.
Okay. And what are the trends that you are seeing in the prescribed drug use, and have you seen any recent changes in recent years, especially after the legalization of some drugs, especially in British Columbia? And like, did the government decision made any impact on it, or how has the recent trend been?
In recent years, there's been increased prescription of mental health medications, and also medications that are used, chronic pain medications too. This for the mental health, it could be maybe increased awareness. People are now becoming more aware of their mental health, or it could be that it could be also a result of dependencies. We have medications they call antidepressants. People, because of the economy now, people are going into depression. That could be a reason. Also, anxiolytics, medications that help to reduce anxiety, and painkillers as well. The opioids, they help to relieve pain, and so because people take it and they feel that maybe it's relieved the excruciating pain they feel, and because of that they just want to keep on using it. So yeah, this is just the trend: increase medication, pain medication, and CNS. They call them CNS drugs, central nervous drugs that are in the central nervous system, and these drugs have the tendency to cause addiction.
Okay. So I remember when I was diagnosed with a partial sacralization in my lower back. So I was prescribed with a muscle relaxant called Zerodol.
Okay.
So I remember even on the days where I could barely walk and all my muscles were stiff and everything when I used to wake up, I would take one pill and the entire body, all the muscles gets relaxed in 5 seconds, and you feel like taking that whenever you have even a mild or meager sensation of pain. So slowly, my doctor advised me, if you take it for more than two months, you will lose your liver. So it's a very strong drug. Because you are going through so much pain, you are being prescribed with this, but do not overuse it. So I think if the doctor did not draw that line, I think I would have slowly become an addict of that drug. Possibly, right?
Yes, because you feel that it's taking care of the
Yes,
case, and you feel okay. That's the challenge: the ability to know the points when to stop.
Right.
Yeah.
So, are the doctors, in your opinion, like while prescribing the drugs, like if you want to refrain from commenting on that, it's totally up to you. But do you think doctors are being mindful of prescribing the number of doses and all that, so that people, even if they intend to, people would not be able to misuse or overdose?
Well, I will not speak for the doctors.
Okay.
But the only thing I can say for certain is that also patients put pressure. Yes. Even from the pharmacy end, we have people calling in, and when you tell them you don't have refills for this medication, it's likely that you have to see your doctor to maybe the doctor feels, yes, either you get a prescription or the doctor reviews your case and sees if there is need for the medication, and they are like, the pharmacist should send it, just send a request on our behalf, send the request. So patients also put pressure, and there are also some other things I would not want to talk about here, but the basic thing is a wake-up call for everyone, both the professional and both the taker of the medication, to know that these drugs, they have their uses, and they also have their harmful effects, and there's the harmful effect now that we are trying to put a stop to.
Okay. So, and what do you think are the steps that pharmacists actively take or proactively take in order to prevent the drugs from getting into the wrong hands?
Okay. First of all, when patients come in, drop their prescription, if it's not the ones that we receive directly from the doctor, we have to check the prescription to be sure that this is actually a qualified doctor that has written that. There are also back end, we have list of prescribers on our system, and also you check the dates, ensure that it's been duly signed, and if it's a patient that has a profile already in the pharmacy, it's much easier because you can be able to tell drug interaction, you can be able to tell what the patient has been on, and if it's okay to go ahead. If you have doubts, you reach out to the doctor immediately. So these are just kind of the steps we take, more like what we call the therapeutic drug monitoring. And also at the pickup point, when the patient is about to pick up the medication, we also ensure that the medication is for the right patient, and double checks are also made for the dose and the regimen, generally the duration, the dose, the patient, the drug, to ensure that it is right. And we also counsel the patient. So these are what we do more like.
Okay, so checking the identity of the person, authenticity, checking if they are not getting drugs more than required. So quantity and quality.
Exactly.
So you are on your front. You are trying your best to not let it loose everywhere in the market. Thank you for doing the job. Do you want to share any of your experience, because our theme is inner compass, and we talk about mostly we are talking about drug normalization here, and you are one of our guests. We have had a conversation with a first-hand drug survivor as well, and we wanted to know your perspective, how difficult it is, or how has your experience been catering such people who are extremely dependent or are addicts in some way. So what are the struggles do you face while catering to them?
Okay. Well, I would not give a specific patient experience because of confidentiality, but what I can say on a general note is there is, for those that are addicted, you will see the urge. They are always anxious and they don't want to hear anything else. Like, the drug is ready, it has to be given to me like right now. So those are the challenges. In fact, we make sure that some of all these medications are under lock and key. So we just tell them, hold on, we have your medication in the safe. We want to check, those times that we just use that to keep them at bay. There has also been cases of pilferage, clients coming to pilfer those medications, so which is also part of why they have to be under lock and key in a safe. That's it basically. Just more like the urgency, the urgency, desperation is the word. Desperation. You may see somebody call the pharmacy and the person is calling and it's an emergency, and when you hear the drug of emergency, you see that it's actually a drug of addiction. You're addicted, that's the emergency, So those are the challenges we have.
At that exact point, that someone is already on the track of addiction.
Exactly.
How do you address that awkward communication? When you are supposed to confront someone and tell them that you need to stop. You are already crossing the line. This is addiction. I mean, this is not an emergency anymore, or you are at risk of or on verge of getting addicted to this particular drug if you keep doing it. So how do you approach that communication? How do you break the barrier? Because a person might get offended, right?
Very well.
Someone could perceive it like, if my doctor or my pharmacist tells me that you do not need any drugs anymore, and while I feel sick, I might not feel very good about it. I might say, you are making fun of my problem, my situation. How do you do that?
Okay, especially in Canada, where there is a right to elbow a lot of patients, people have a right and they enforce their rights. So one has to be very careful, because they will tell you this has been prescribed by a professional, so why are you coming to counter it? I think the basic thing is to be empathetic and be transparent about everything, to tell the person, okay, that we understand this is the situation, but this, can you opt for this or that thing? Do you think we should call your doctor? So it's more like sitting them down for those that will listen, because some of them will just be in a hurry. They want to just get this and be done with it. So it's about just trying to win their trust. Once you're able to, it may not even be a first time attempt. Another thing we try to do is to build bond, like relationship, like, oh, how is your family? How is this? We start coming home. By the time we get home, closer home to them, and gradually we can penetrate them and just tell them this is this and all
This
that.
is the thing.
Yeah,
So a lot of steps involved, a lot of rapport building with them.
exactly.
And then you can do the actual tough conversation or the confrontation.
Yes.
Again, you are doing a lot.
Thank you.
What role, I mean, if I want to tell a person, because I personally think that the people in healthcare, be it nurses or the doctors or the pharmacists, are, people, the general public is not as thankful to them as they should be. I mean, there was a wave during COVID-19 when the world actually felt that there is a huge shortage of healthcare workers,
Mhm.
of the frontline healthcare workers, and they started being thankful of the people. So when it comes to drug addiction, because we are targeting a certain kind of population, when it comes to drug addiction, what roles do pharmacists play in creating awareness around this subject, so that our viewers know and they could be grateful of the people in your line of job?
Yeah, and that's why I'm happy about what you are also doing as a project. Education is key. Is key in pharmacy practice in terms of community pharmacy or clinical pharmacy. So we try our best. There are also community workshops, health awareness programs, and there are some health talks too over the radio and TV. But basically, we approach the cases one-on-one, like being able to reach out to, because since we get in touch with the final consumer at the point of pickup, and mind you, even if you are not the owner of the medication,
Mm-hmm.
we ensure that you are getting your license, everything. So it means that you are the person coming to pick up, you are in close contact with the person taking it. So we still transfer everything we want to tell the person to you and follow up via calls. So what we do is more like educating on one-on-one basis, because everybody is different, and also because their medical history is also different. The people on different medications and all that, and different reasons
Mm-hmm.
for taking the drugs they are taking. So we approach it one-on-one, basically.
Okay, and is there any law that supports this, or are there any regulatory policies or government policies? As you said, in this country, people have enormous rights,
Mm-hmm.
and which is a good thing, and they can also back their right by the law. If people can ask for drugs, but if the drugs are not something that they really need, and you want to stop them from it, is there any law protecting your right to stop them, or how is it?
Yeah, the prescribers have the rights.
Oh.
So we try to also talk them, especially when we see this is the situation. Okay, and also this naloxone, which is an antidote for opioid poisoning,
Mhm.
has also helped a lot, because now at the pharmacy you can give without waiting for a prescription. So people come pick up after you have spoken with to them about it, and they buy your opinion. So we're hopeful that things would improve with time, but also from our end as professionals, we are also like working as a team. So when we have issues like that, we reach out to the prescriber. And most times, if not all, but most times they try to say, okay, why don't we do this? This is another way we also address this. Instead of giving dispensing or giving bulk, why don't we give this patient for some few days and see? So that's how it goes.
Okay, so there are a lot of policies and regulations in play as well.
Yeah.
So as much as the pharmacists are aware of the drugs, it's a huge study in itself. They also need to know the bylaws.
Yeah.
I mean, just for our listeners,
Yeah.
what are the resources that are available for the patients who seek help with dependency or the risk of drug addiction? If they genuinely want help, and if they know, or if they themselves have realized that they are slowly falling into the trap, who do they reach out to?
Yeah, the government has tried in that form. There are various resources as well as rehabilitation centers. We have the local addiction treatment centers and counseling services. There are also helplines like the addiction helpline in Canada. Then we have support groups. There have been support groups too that have been functioning. The Narcotics Anonymous. Okay, and also as pharmacists, we have the pharmacist-led interventions where we help patients taper medication. Taper medication is in the form of like, okay, we're not telling you withdraw immediately because we don't want withdrawal syndrome. So why don't you reduce the dose, then at some point take every other day, at some point 2 days, that's how we taper the dose. So these are part of pharmacy-led interventions that we also help patients that are addicted to come out of it.
Okay, that's insightful. I hope the listeners, if any one of you is seeking any help, you can reach out to the mentioned line of helps, and we are there for you. How do you feel that the normalization of drug in the society affects or impacts the actual prescription practices in healthcare?
Okay, normalization of drugs has actually posed challenges because people take these high-risk medications and they feel comfortable, like they're not the only ones doing it. Everybody is.
Right. Everyone is surviving.
Yes, and some people even make it like a challenge. If you are not on drugs, then you are not belonging. Like a societal thing as well. And also something like the virtual health, the walking clinics, virtual health clinics although they have helped to improve accessibility to healthcare, it has also posed a challenge because the prescriber may just be able to give medication based on the client's complaint, but not necessarily checking through the person's history to know what kind of person we are dealing with and all that. So there's been pros and cons to that. But generally, it has been challenging, and we have a lot of work to do as professionals.
About this virtual doctor or virtual assistant thing, I could recall one of my colleagues simply telling their problem on the application. I won't name it, but they just posted their information, and that guy got a whole prescription. So, I mean, if I am an ex-person, I can simply go and tell a virtual doctor that I am having these problems and I need these kind of medicines. If I know the algorithm the application or the virtual assistant is going to suggest me the drug I want without even if I didn't have the problem.
Exactly, that's the problem.
So the accessible with great accessibility comes great problems.
Yeah.
How do you feel? What is your gut feeling about the next 3, 4, 5 years down the line, where the government is, especially in Canada, they have already started in British Columbia, the limited usage of coke, and if they do not lift this experiment sooner, do you think the society is going to sustain?
Limited use of coke?
Of the drugs.
Okay.
I think it's 0.05 gram that a person can carry. So it is already there, and we see that the cannabis are being sold openly. This was not the scenario going back a few years in the line.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think? Is it already a start of collapse we have dig as a society for ourselves, or do you think that this much usage is fine with some degree of education if people are made aware of the drug use and abuse? What is your opinion?
Wow, for now, honestly, there has to be a drastic action, because if people are left this way, feeling like they can keep on refilling their medication, they can keep on taking this drug of addiction, we're going to get to a stage where we are leaving prevention and curative to rehabilitation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're going to start having more rehabilitation centers. So, any drastic, maybe I wouldn't really say drastic, because like I talked about withdrawal effect as well, the syndrome. But there really has to be concerted effort by everybody, even the people taking, even the government through policies, and the professionals prescribing this medication. And part also people that we want to also get the young ones too, because we don't want them to start because we've seen the trend already. Okay, getting these people that are already in this situation out of it is quite tedious. So the best bet is also to start from prevention, you know. Yeah, so
prevention is always better than cure.
Exactly.
Thank you for sharing your experience, journey, and insightful thoughts on our issue. And I hope our listeners will find some guiding light through it, and keep listening to us. We'll keep bringing stories of hope. We'll keep bringing a lot of information from trusted sources. And yes, this is it from the presentation. This is it from the team employee involvement. I would request you, Nkiruka, to just look into the camera and say subscribe to the Inner Compass.
Oh, please subscribe to the Inner Compass, following Inner Guide.
So we'll be streaming on YouTube and Spotify December 8 onwards. So this is in your hands. Please share this video with as many people as you can, as we are trying to make a change that everyone wants to see in the world. So you also be the change that you wish to see in the world. Thank you. Good night.